Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. First of all, let me say a big thank you to everyone that left, such kind messages. We got to 1,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. A lot of people left, really lovely messages. I appreciate every one of you. I really do, and I have read them all. Hopefully, I've replied to all, if not most of them. But anyway, thank you for that. 1,000 subscribers, onwards and upwards, as they say. But let's talk about Katie Taylor and Claressa Shields, because been having a bit of a debate, a friendly debate with a few people about which of these ladies is greater. We know that Claressa calls herself the GWOAT, which is an acronym that kind of grates me, but the GWOAT, anyway, I won't go into that. But she is, there's no doubt, she's an exceptional female fighter who's achieved a tremendous amount. But so has Katie. And I think it's kind of interesting to compare the two, go through their records, and this is in no way designed to sort of prove anything. Both these women are, exceptional talents, and I've got nothing but respect for both of them. But, we'll compare and contrast just for the sake of a little friendly debate here. So let's start with Claressa. Now, the striking thing that I think people often overlook with Claressa is that she made her debut. Well, actually, let's deal with the amateurs first of all. Claressa won 2 gold medals at the Olympics. Katie won 1. Claressa only ever lost 1 fight. That was to Savannah Marshall. Katie won 5 world championships. So both these women had really sort of illustrious amateur careers, fantastic amateur careers. But turning professional, we'll start with Claressa, and she made her debut against Franchon Cruz de Zern, who, and I remember watching that fight. It was a 4-rounder, the debut for both women. And Cruz de Zern, I thought, deserved a draw. Maybe 3-1 to Claressa, but it was very, very competitive. And I think Claressa probably over the 4 had a slight edge in speed and maybe landed more. The heavier hands, I think, if I remember rightly, I haven't watched this fight for a long time, but it were coming from Franchon. But the point is that Franchon and Claressa, they're now friends, and Franchon is actually the undisputed super middleweight champion. Of course, we have to take into consideration that the depth of talent isn't tremendous in women's boxing. It's still growing, but that's still a hell of an achievement. And for Claressa and Franchon to fight, each other in their debuts is I think, it's fantastic stuff. And Claressa picked up a 40-36 win, moved on. She's only got 2 knockouts on her record, and one of them came against a 15-8 fighter called Zabardos. I don't know much about this lady, but Claressa stopped her in 4. I think it was a 6-2s. So she moved into the 6-rounders after only 1 fight. If you go further up, in her 5th fight, she beat Tori Nelson. And actually, I should say before that, actually, she fought who was it now? Nikki Adler. That was in her fourth fight, and picked up the vacant IBF World Super Middleweight title, and also I think it was the IBF and the WBC. She picked up 2. I know one of them was vacant. I think Adler was the WBC champ, and yeah. Anyway, the point is that Claressa picked up 2 world title belts at super middle in her 4th fight, and then she defended against Tori Nelson in her 5th fight. Now, Adler at the time, by the way, was 16-0. So she got handed her first defeat by Claressa. And Tori Nelson, in the first defence for Claressa, I think she had 3 draws on her record, but she was undefeated as well, 17-0-3, I think it was. So you're talking about, in the 4th and 5th fight for Claressa, she's won 2 titles. At least one of them was vacant. Yeah, the IBF was vacant. And then she's defended it, and both against undefeated women. That's a hell of an achievement in 5 fights. Then Claressa fought Hannah Gabriels, defended her 2 titles again. And Hannah is the only person to floor Claressa. And I think it was in the first round. Was it the second round? I think it was the first round. Gabriels knocked her over, but I don't think there's any doubt that Claressa's got a terrific chin. She got up and she was fine. And she actually went on to win comfortably, like 97, 92, 98, 90. Was it 97, 92, I think, and then there was a 98, 91 somewhere. And anyway, she won comfortably. and that was in her sixth fight. So already Claressa was established, as people expected, as one of the best female fighters in the world. She then defended against Hannah Rankin, who at the time I think was only 5-2. But Hannah was, she went the distance. I think she lost I think she was whitewashed. I don't remember her winning a round on any of the cards. Then Femke Hermans, but that was for, actually, I tell a lie, Hannah, there was a vacant title. I can't remember which one it was. I think that was at middleweight. Yeah, I think it was at middleweight against when she fought Hannah. There were a couple of middleweight belts on the line, or two of them anyway. 2, 3, IBF, WBC, WBA. Yeah. Well, anyway, she fought. Yeah, I may have the belts wrong, but I'm sure she moved down to middleweight and picked up 2 or 3 belts in that fight with Rankin, and then against Femke Herman she defended it with, and again, another unanimous decision. And then there was a unification fight against Christina Hammer, who at the time was undefeated, 24-0, and had reigned for years, 6-7 years, something like that. So we're talking about, very established fighters, and Claressa's beating them all, and beating them with relative ease. I mean, Hammer was expected to give her trouble. I think if memory serves, I gave Hammer 2 rounds. I'm doing this from memory, but I think the judges had it something like 90, 98, 92, 99, 91, something like that. It was wide. And Hammer, even though she gave Claressa something to think about in the first 4 rounds, maybe 3-4 rounds, Claressa came on strong, and yeah, it was an undisputed title fight, and definitely Claressa deserved to win that. Then she moves down. Bearing in mind she won her first title at super middleweight, and now she's unified the middles. She then moves down to super welter, and she collects a couple of those belts against Ivana Habazin, who at the time was 20-3. I don't think she had any draws, and I can't remember, I think WBC and WBO, I think, or was it WBA? 2 of the belts anyway, whichever one. WBC definitely was one of them. And then against Marie Decaire, she won, who was undefeated at the time. Shields became a 2-time undisputed champ because she won, she beat Decaire and won all 4 belts at super welter. So after only, I can't remember, where are we now? But was it about 10 fights or something? Not even that. She's a 2-time unified champ, super welter and at middle. And even allowing for the fact that some of these were, vacant belts, it's still a hell of an achievement. And then we go right up to Emma Kozin. She defended against her. Emma was undefeated, 21 wins, 0 defeats, 1 draw. And then, of course, Claressa fought Savannah Marshall, who undefeated in 12. Heavy punching girl. And, yeah, off she goes. She's undisputed again at middleweight. So this is kind of a remarkable parade of victories for Claressa Shields. Really, really impressive. 3-time undisputed champ, 3-weight division champ, undefeated, avenged her only amateur loss. Don't think she's still only 27, Claressa. It's unbelievable, really, but tremendous talent and tremendous achievements, certainly in terms of winning belts. I think she must have won 12, 13 belts. But I think it's the quality of the opposition. Christina Hammer is very good. Tori Nelson's good. Hannah Rankin is okay, not a bad fighter. Savannah Marshall, I picked Savannah Marshall to beat Claressa, and obviously she didn't. Although I must say I had it very, very close. In fact, I had Savannah slightly ahead. I cut a point or 2. I scored it live, and I'm one of the very few people that had that. But I would have no argument with a close victory for Claressa. I thought it was very, very close. So that's Claressa. Let's move on to Katie Taylor now. Now, Katie, we're talking Olympic gold medalist, 5-time world champ. made her. I can't even remember the girl's name, to be honest, but I know she had a 3-round stoppage in a. She started off with a 6-rounder, started her career, stopped the girl in 3. It was a. I can't remember the girl's name, but she was journeywoman basically. She then moves on to Vivian Obernoff. Now, Vivian Obernoff, for your second fight, was a tough opponent. Vivian at the time was 9 wins and 1 defeat, and would actually go on to stop Natasha Jonas. Very interesting career, Vivian, because she was beaten a few times, but very, very game competitor. And actually, there was some controversy in her private life. I think she shot her boyfriend or something like this. There was, I can't remember offhand, but there was. I don't know if she's in prison now, but a bit of a wild kid. But yeah, good fighter, and for Katie to take her on in only her second fight and beat her on points over 6 was a good win. But Katie she hasn't won as many belts as Claressa. I think her first belt came against, I think it was a vacant title, WBA lightweight title, against a girl called Sanchez, Anahi Sanchez, I think her name was. She won a unanimous decision. I don't think Sanchez won more than a round or 2. It was very wide. And that was Katie's first world title. She then fought, was Jessica McCaskill next? I think so. That was a defense of the WBA, I think it was WBA lightweight title. She defended against Jessica McCaskill. And there are many people that believe, I've met many people anyway, who believe Jessica McCaskill won that fight. In actual fact, it was a 97-92 on a couple of cards, maybe a 98-92 or something like that, for Katie. But she didn't have it all her own way. Jessica, now we now know Jessica is the undisputed welterweight champion. That's a good opponent for Katie, and to beat her so convincingly. Well, some people think Jessica won, but on the cards it was convincing. That looks good on her record. Then she fought Victoria Bustos and picked up the IBF lightweight title. Which was, and it wasn't vacant. I think Bustos held that title. So that made her a 2-belt champ, Katie, unified champ. She made a couple of defenses. Kimberly Connor was one of them. And Cindy Serrano. Those were defenses of the 2 belts. Ava Wallstrom that was a defense, and then she fought Rose Valente, who was undefeated at the time, and actually stopped her in 9 rounds, and picked up another one of the belts. So she had 3. She did the IBF one, I think it was. So she got the IBF, the WBA, and WBC, or the WBO. Well, she had 3 of the belts, whichever ones they were. My memory's not what it was. But then came Delphine Persoon. And this was for all the marbles. This was the undisputed lightweight title fight, and Delphine gave her hell, gave Katie absolute hell. Now, to me, Delphine Persoon won that fight. This is the first Persoon fight. They would fight again later on. I definitely think that she was hard done by, Delphine Persoon. I couldn't see how anyone could give this fight to Katie, but she did win a majority decision. I just don't agree with that decision. But anyway, such is life. Delphine was left very disappointed. Katie went on to beat Christina Lindatu. Lindatu, Greek girl. She wasn't undefeated, was she? I think she had a defeat on her record when Katie fought her. But that was for the WBO super lightweight title. And then Katie returned to lightweight, fought Delphine Persoon again, and again this was much closer to me. I think you can make a case for Katie winning that one, but a lot of people still think Delphine has Katie's number and won that return. I know for a fact. I know after 5 rounds, Katie had beaten the crap out of Delphine Persoon. She can take some punishment. Out of all the women fighters I've seen, Delphine Persoon has the best jaw. It's incredible, really. But that was a return fight for all the marbles at lightweight. Katie won again, unanimous decision this time. She then fought Miriam Gutierrez. she was undefeated, and Katie beat her on points, and beat her convincingly. I think she floored Gutierrez. Was it that fight? Anyway, it was wide, 99, 90, and 190, 189, something like that. They were very wide cards. And again, undisputed lightweight title fight. So she's racking up the defences of this undisputed title. Then came Natasha Jonas. Close fight, but I thought Katie won it. In fact, the three judges had it 90. Did all three have it 96, 94, 96, 95? It was that type of fight, very, very close. And Natasha, I mean, she gave everything and fought very, very well. She was coming off, bar a couple of fights against Journey women, she was coming off what's her name again? The defeat that she had, the shock defeat, Vivian Obanov. So people were thinking Katie would get the better of her easily. Not so. It was a very, very tough competitive fight. And of course, Natasha has moved up, won a couple of belts at super welterweight, jumped up several divisions, as has Terry Harper. That's another story. Then Jennifer Han was defeated on points. And then Firuza Sharapova, was she undefeated? Or did she already have a defeat? I can't remember. She might have been undefeated. These are all defences of the undisputed lightweight title. So she's really, like I said before, she's really racking up these defences. Very, very impressive. Then, after Sharapova, who did we have? Madison Square Garden, Amanda Serrano, 42-1-1 coming in, Serrano. Brilliant fight, brilliant occasion. I thought Katie won it by, I can't remember offhand. I scored it as I was watching. I thought she won it by a couple of points. But there was no doubt that this was Katie's toughest fight. And Amanda Serrano, in the fifth round, almost had Katie out of there. Had it been 3 minute rounds, I think Serrano would have won that fight. But what a great occasion. There's got to be a rematch. There has got to be a rematch. But, you know, we will see. It should be at Croke Park, of course it should. We all know that. Katie's earned it. She wants to go home, be in front of her fans, and, you know. Then you had last weekend, we had Karen Carabajal, outpointed, undefeated, previously undefeated, and Katie beat her. So what we've got is, if we compare the two, we've got Claressa and we've got Katie. Now, Claressa has jumped up and down divisions. No question about it. She's once a 3-weight world champ, 3-time undisputed, super world, not the undisputed, she's won two belts, I think it was, at super welterweight, undisputed at middle and super middle. Am I right? Yeah. So many belts and governing bodies in my head, I lose track. But then you compare that to Katie, who is, even though she has won a belt at super lightweight, she's mostly been a lightweight, stayed there, and she's made, you know, some very, very impressive victories. And it's the consistency at the weight. So we're talking, you know, like Marvin Hagler was always a middleweight, you know, and made all those defences. Katie Taylor, always a lightweight, made all the defences. Let's think of an example. Thomas Hearns, up and down the weights, from welterweight all the way up to cruiserweight, winning different belts. Claressa, same story, jumping up and down the weights. So who's got the more impressive resume? Well, I would honestly edge it towards Claressa Shields. I would, because I think she's beaten more undefeated fighters. She's won God knows how many belts. A 3-weight world champ. It's the undisputed thing. This is not an Adrian Broner scenario when she wins a belt against a no-hoper and then bins it and then moves on to the next division against another no-hoper. Claressa has beaten good women. Like I say, she beat DAZN in her first fight. DAZN is now the undisputed super middleweight champ. On the other hand, Katie's beaten Jessica McCaskill. But the point is that I just think Claressa has a slight edge in achievements. Also, if you look at the amateurs, she won 2 gold medals. Katie won 1. This is in no shape or form designed to berate Katie or demean her. She's a brilliant fighter. But the argument I was having, friendly argument with some friends, I think Claressa Shields just edges it on achievements. But what a pair of brilliant ambassadors they are for the sport. Very, very different characters. They'll never fight because Katie's a lightweight and Claressa's currently middleweight. But pound for pound, who's best? You can argue all day, can't you? In terms of achievements, I'd give Claressa a slight edge. So, well, what do you think? Leave your comments below. I know this has been quite a long video, But I think it's a debate that's going on. Is Claressa the GWOAT, to use that tooth chipping phrase, or is the far more modest, the polar opposite in terms of character, Katie Taylor, the greatest female ever, or one of the greatest? Don't forget, people forget about, Anne Wolfe, Lucia Riker, a couple of others, Christy Martin. These were all great women fighters as well in a different era. So let me know what you think. Leave your comments below, and thank you for listening. Of course, as always, much love to you. Subscribe if you're new. We'll keep the subscriptions going up. Hit the like button. Good stuff. We'll talk again soon. Bye bye for now.